Welcome back to The Explainer. I am incredibly excited you're here today because we're about to unpack one of the absolute most important topics in all of cloud computing. Whether you're gearing up for a massive tech interview, cramming for an exam, or honestly just kind of curious about what actually runs the internet, you are in the exact right spot. Today, we're setting the stage for a true heavyweight showdown, Type 1 versus Type 2 hypervisors. We're going to break down their architecture, expose their trade-offs, and show you exactly which one rules the cloud. Let's get into it. But first, to really grasp virtualization, we gotta start with a huge architectural dilemma. Just ask yourself, who actually calls the shots when multiple virtual machines are forced to fight over the exact same physical resources, right? Because whether it's a massive server room or literally just your own laptop, you've got limited hardware, but you might have dozens of operating systems trying to run all at once. Someone, or something, has to be the ultimate traffic cop here. And that's exactly what we're gonna figure out today. Okay, let's dive into this roadmap so you know exactly how we'll break this down. First up, the virtualization core. Second, Type 1, bare metal. Third, Type 2 hosted setup. Fourth, a performance and security comparison. And finally, choosing the right hypervisor. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the virtualization core and how we share the hardware. So think about it like this. Whenever applications run, they are inherently hungry. It's kind of like having a bunch of roommates fighting over a single kitchen. They constantly demand processing power from the CPU, storage space from the disks, and network access just to talk to the outside world. A hypervisor's fundamental job is to carve up this single pool of hardware and serve it out to multiple virtual machines so seamlessly that none of them even realize they're sharing. Moving right along to Section 2, Type 1, bare metal, the enterprise heavyweight. The defining characteristic of a Type 1 hypervisor is right there in the name, bare metal. The software is installed directly onto the physical hardware itself. No middleman, no host operating system like Windows or Linux getting in the way first. In this setup, the hypervisor basically is the operating system. And this brilliantly illustrates what that stack looks like from the bottom up. It's elegantly simple, really. You've got physical hardware at the base, the hypervisor sitting immediately on top of that, and your virtual machines right up above. Notice what's missing? Yep, there's absolutely zero standard host operating system layer. It is incredibly lean. And because there's no host operating system acting as a middleman, well, the hypervisor assumes total, ultimate authority. It is the sole manager of the system. It takes on the full, unshared responsibility of directly managing the server's CPU, the storage disks, and the network interfaces. It doesn't have to wait around or ask permission to allocate RAM to a VM. It literally reaches right down into the hardware and provisions it instantly. Okay, jumping to Section 3, Type 2, hosted setup, the personal assistant. Now, in contrast, a Type 2, or hosted hypervisor, sits on top of an operating system you probably already use every single day. It runs just like any other standard application on top of your existing OS, whether you're running Windows, macOS, or Linux. You literally just boot up your laptop like normal, open the hypervisor program, and boom, you're running virtual machines. Let's see how this stack layers out. We still have the hardware at the absolute bottom. But now, Step 2 is a host operating system. The hypervisor is relegated to Step 3, running just as a software program, with the virtual machines stacked on top. We've inherently added an entire extra layer of overhead here. So the crucial point is, in a Type 2 setup, the hypervisor is no longer the boss. The host OS is the ultimate gatekeeper. It controls the physical CPU and the disk drives. If your virtual machine needs more memory, the hypervisor can't just swoop in and take it. It actually has to wait in line and politely ask the host OS to provision those resources. Its raw managerial power is basically stripped away. Which brings us to Section 4, performance and security comparison, the head-to-head clash. Before we get into the exact metrics, just try to keep this core architectural difference in your mind. Type 1 is a direct pipeline straight to the hardware. Type 2, on the other hand, is forced to route literally everything through the bottleneck of a host operating system. That one structural difference dictates everything about their speed, their safety, and how you use them. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing those ultimate trade-offs side by side. Performance. Type 1 is incredibly high because we ripped out that middle layer entirely, meaning zero overhead. Type 2 is comparatively lower because the host OS creates some serious drag. Security. Type 1 boasts really strong isolation, while Type 2 inherits all those underlying OS vulnerabilities. But, the bottom row is the real kicker. Type 1 requires a much more complex managerial setup, whereas Type 2 is basically as simple as downloading an app on your computer. Let's actually talk a little more about those Type 2 security risks. Since the hypervisor runs on top of a standard OS, it naturally inherits all the baggage of that OS. If you have a misconfiguration in your Windows settings, say, or if your Mac gets hit with malware, or even if you just forget to patch a vulnerability, your entire virtualization stack is suddenly compromised. The host OS acts as a massive attack surface. If it goes down, every single virtual machine running on top of it goes down too.
Now, Type 1, on the flip side, boasts ironclad isolation. Without a shared host OS bridging everything together, the virtual machines have absolutely zero interaction with one another. If one VM gets hit by a targeted attack or just suffers a catastrophic failure, this strict architecture ensures the other VMs remain totally unaffected. It's absolutely brilliant for preventing cross-contamination entirely. All right, final section, Section 5, choosing the right hypervisor, the interview cheat sheet. Let's move to and see how this builds into real-world applications. Because of its raw performance and that strict security we just talked about, Type 1 is the undisputed king of enterprise data centers. When major cloud providers are building out their back-end servers, they rely entirely on bare metal. But if you're a student just wanting to test out a new Linux distribution on your laptop, well, the ease and simplicity of a Type 2 hosted setup is exactly what you need.
And hey, to really nail that upcoming exam or interview, you need concrete names to drop. If they ask you for a classic, industry-standard Type 1 bare metal hypervisor, you say VMware ESXi. If they ask for a highly popular, everyday Type 2 hosted hypervisor, you drop Oracle VirtualBox. Knowing the architecture is great for sure, but pairing it with the actual software used out there in the real world, that proves you truly grasp the whole landscape.
So there you have it. We've completely broken down the direct power of bare metal and the super accessible flexibility of a hosted setup. You now understand the profound impact that simply removing a host operating system can have on both performance and security. The only question left is, based on your need for isolation, setup complexity, and raw power, which hypervisor architecture are you going to choose to power your very next project? Think about it and keep exploring.